Hello, strong people. Welcome to my series on starting the journey to stop self-hatred. This is my 17th day of encouraging people to stop hating themselves. Bismillah, let's start on make peace with your flaws, mistakes, and traumas. One of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard is that in order to know how good our goodness is, in order to know how successful our success is, in order to know how worthy our worth is, we have to compare it side by side with other people's goodness, success, and life standards. Who on earth came up with that? But it is a scam because that belief is what makes us feel lacking, led in life, and left out. Blah blah blah. You know, when we tend to compare ourselves to others, most of the time we end up feeling like we are the ones who are lacking, like we are the failures. You ask me why? Because you are comparing yourself, the person you know most, the person you've been living with every single day since you were born, to someone you barely even know. You only see a small part of their life, nothing more than that. Even though you say that it is your best friend, it is your classmate, you will never truly know how someone is inside and out. That is why other people's life should never, ever be used as a measuring tool to determine how good you are in your own. So why you need to be ashamed of yourself? Tell me your mistakes. Because me, I've made too many. Most of them are embarrassing. But well, it is what it is. Like, I once survived bullying in the past and it still affects me in many ways, like my confidence. I remember that even years after being bullied, I still had trouble managing my emotions. I was so quick to explode and yell loudly, almost like my mind was still traumatized. And because of that, I ended up speaking in a loud tone to my old friend. It's so impolite, and I regret those things a lot. I kept asking myself, like, why did I have to say those things? But yeah, it happened. I need to learn from it. What are we need to be ashamed of? What is your trauma? For me, I've been traumatized by a lot of things. Like, I have a trauma around rejection because I've experienced it so many times from some family members, friends, and yes, in romance too. But probably my worst trauma is that I'm scared of being scammed. I hate it when people are two-faced and ended up stabbing me up in the back. It makes me feel like they're telling me how foolish I was for letting them fool me. Okay, again, talking about flaws. What are your flaws? Well, we always focus on flaws rather than our strength, our good things. So, okay, for me, I've always felt it was unfair being the middle child in an Asian family but not inheriting any academic genius genes. Me. My brother is a math genius, and my sister is the straight A golden child. She's really good at every subject. The way my siblings got high scores felt as easy as scooping water out of a pool. Meanwhile, I was just born to be a hard worker. I just cannot understand things instantly or quickly like my brothers, so I usually have to repeat the same topic for about 2 weeks before I fully grasp it. I remember back then when my brother's face was printed in a huge banner for getting the highest score on the national exams in our city. Even my friends started asking, like, are you really his biological sister? At that time, I kept forcing myself to believe I could be just like them. I could be as a genius as them. That I could be as smart as they were. But no matter how hard I tried, the reality spoke for itself. I was always walking in their shadows, never walking alongside them, because I was denying who I really am. And you know, I wish I had known that there's nothing wrong with being myself. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. Even though I am not as a genius as my brother, there's nothing wrong with it. Even if that means not being the genius one. Even if it means not being the teacher's favorite student, even if it means not being the kind of person whose face gets hung on a banner. You know, because I'm still special, just for being who I truly am. I used to hear it a lot when I was a kid, until now. You need to be good at math to have a better life. You need to be ranked first to be considered special. And sure, that belief is not necessarily wrong, but it's also not wrong if you don't end up achieving those things. I mean, how can that kind of standard apply to everyone when only one person can be actually be in the first place? And those people blame their kids for not getting the first rank while they see how hard their kids study. Here's the thing, as long as we give our best, our true best, okay? Our true best. Even if we don't come out on top, that doesn't mean we are not special at all. It doesn't mean we have failed. It doesn't mean we won't have a beautiful future ahead. No, it's not the end. Because the truth is, there won't be balance if everyone were the same. Like my brother. He can literally study without needing a teacher. So imagine if every student were like him. There'd be no need for teachers, tutoring services, or learning support. So please don't feel small just because you lack what someone else has or didn't inherit certain talents, even though that doesn't mean we shouldn't try either. Sure, I'm not as naturally gifted as my brother when it comes to academics, but I must be gifted in something else. And it is true. I'm really good at sports. But again, there's no peace in comparison. So listen to me, if you want to make peace with your flaws, mistakes, and traumas, you have to understand that you also carry strengths, successes, and power. Ooh, how do I know that? Listen to me. The strength that comes from your flaw, the success that grows out of your mistakes, the power you gain from surviving your traumas. So none of them happen for nothing. My friends, redefine the meaning of flaws, mistakes, and traumas you've been through. For example, I wasn't gifted in math like my brother, but that pushed me to develop my hardworking side. And you know what? I'm about to say something crazy, but I'm not lying to you. Allah is watching this, okay? Allah knows I used to curse math, hate math every time I breathe every single day in my high school. But once I entered college and studied government, I actually missed math. I'm serious, I really missed it. Because somehow math reminded me that my hard work actually paid off. Even though I wasn't born a math genius, I was still able to get straight A's in math. Math motivated me like no other subject could. It humbled my laziness. It forced me to rise. So my flaws, they pushed me to work harder. And that hard work, it became the foundation of the strengths I now carry. Because back then I was so consistent and not giving up on learning math, on understanding math. Somehow it makes my comprehending skills much better at college. I don't know how to say this, but it is what I feel. Well, that also goes for mistakes and traumas. My mistake in math taught me how to get it right. My mistakes in life taught me how to do better next time. And my traumas, they taught me too. They warned me. They became alarms for the things I should avoid, so I don't get struck by the same pain again. These three things, flaws, mistakes, and traumas, they've become my guide along the way. In fact, you can turn your flaws, mistakes, and traumas into your purpose, which means in a way you're giving meaning to them. You can transform your situation by letting your mistakes change your perspective. You can grow into a better version of yourself because your traumas taught you what feels right. You can learn from your flaws and come to understand yourself on a bigger scale. That while you're doing all this, you are actually paving the way to something greater. So why punish yourself for the failures you've had or the mistake you've made? Flaws, mistakes are not stupid. They are teachers. They shape you. They shape us into who we're meant to be. What is foolish is rejecting your mistake, pretending they don't matter, and then repeating them again and again. That is the real foolish. Your flaws, your mistakes, and traumas are worthy of your full appreciation, because they are not your ending. They are your restart button, the beginning of growth that leads to greater blessings. I have a good tip for you if you ever feel down or starting hating your flaws. So when you think you're stupid, failure, or just mid, ask yourself this question. What if nothing is actually wrong with you? What if it is just your mind playing tricks on you? What if you are simply exhausted from carrying battles alone for too long? What if it's just a reaction to your dad yelling at you, or your boss snapping at you, or the sleepless nights you've been through? What if it's just a whisper from Shaitan? Please let that sink in. You know, it is okay to feel down today. It is okay to be not okay. You don't have to force yourself to be okay right now. But you just have to stay with yourself. Stay through this low point in life. When the day feels too heavy, when just existing feels like too much, that is not weakness. That is burnout. That is someone who's been strong for too long without enough soft places to land. So please, it is okay to not be okay. We cannot expect every day or everything to be perfect, right? Just give yourself time. Let the rage, let the emotions and the tiredness subside on their own. You deserve that gentleness from yourself. Making peace with your flaws, mistakes, and traumas means being able to accept yourself for who you truly are. It means loving yourself despite the storms and thunders inside you. And loving yourself doesn't mean denying your imperfections. It means holding them without hate. So my friend, please stop downgrading yourself. Stop comparing yourself to others. And tell yourself, even the broken parts of me are worthy of love. Your struggles don't make you unlovable. They make you human. And you know what? Take your time. Take your time to process it all. Take your time to feel it all. Give yourself the time to process everything that already happened. Just remember, your flaws, mistakes, and traumas do not make you any less of the wonderful person you already are. Okay, that is all for episode 17. Thank you so much for watching it this far, especially if you're still watching it right now. In the next episode of 18, we're gonna talk about learn how to sit with your pain without fighting it. What do you guys think? Leave your comment below, okay? Let me remind you that I am so proud of you for today and always. Thank you for being strong for yourself today. And let's meet again in the next video, inshallah. Assalamualaikum.